The host is already moving around the rim when the heart lights up. It is not running. It is not being dragged across a floor. Its small non-human body is fixed to the outer edge of a giant vertical wheel, rolled upward by something that does not look like a limb, a jaw, or a spine. Soft black rib spokes tighten around a glowing heart suspended in the center. Red carousel light flashes across wet glass. The wheel turns one slow fraction higher. The host rises with it. At first, the parasite looks like a movement organ, a strange circular body, built to roll. A vertical wheel in a red-lit specimen carousel surrounded by circular shadows and pulse-synced vapor, but the wheel does not cross the floor. It does not need to move forward yet. It is learning whether the host can complete the circle. The central heart beats, the rib spokes pull inward. The rim turns, the host is carried upward again, pressed against the outer edge as if the wheel is using the body for traction. The heart is not hidden inside the creature. There is no chest around it, no protective cavity, no head above it. The parasite is arranged around the heart. Every rib spoke points back toward that exposed pulse, as if the whole body exists only to translate heartbeat into rotation. The host struggles. Its movement only makes the rim grip tighter. Black rib tissue folds over part of the host's side. The outer rim softens, then closes around the body in small segments. The carousel lights flash red across the wet floor, and circular shadows spin around the wheel. The host is not tied to the parasite. It is becoming the place where the parasite will roll another heartbeat. The wheel rotates. The host climbs higher. Now the danger becomes readable. The parasite cannot move forward until a living host completes a full rotation around the heart. The host is not prey carried behind the monster. It is not food held in a mouth. It is the missing rim segment. Each pulse turns it farther around the circle, testing whether living tissue can become part of the wheel's edge. The carousel pressure increases. Red lights circle faster along the curved glass wall. Vapor bursts from the floor in short pulses that match the central heart. The wheel stays almost in place, but its body moves with terrible rhythm. The rib spokes tighten. The host rolls from the lower side toward the upper arc. Its body bends with the curve. For a moment, the heart is all the viewer sees. It glows in the center, suspended without a chest, pulsing outward through black ribs. Then the camera pulls back, and the full creature is visible again, a face without a face, a body without front or back, a monster built as a circle around its own exposed heart. The host reaches the upper rim. It should fall away. It does not. Rim tissue has grown over the lower part of its body. The wheel carries it past the top, rotating it downward on the far side. The host's outline is changing. It no longer looks like something attached to the wheel. It looks like an uneven piece of the wheel itself. Heartbeat becomes motion. Motion becomes enclosure. Enclosure becomes anatomy. The rib spokes pulse again, and the host is pulled closer to the circular path. The red carousel lights reflect the movement in repeating arcs. In each reflection, the wheel seems to have more body and the host seems to have less boundary. A new segment forms around the host. Soft black ribs stretch outward from the central heart and lock into the outer rim near the attached body. The rim thickens. The host's movement slows. Not because it is free, but because it is no longer moving against the parasite. Its pulse begins to arrive slightly after the central heart, like an echo being trained to match the main rhythm. Wheel completes more of the circle. The carousel floor stays wet and still beneath it. The parasite remains upright, turning in place, as if the chamber is a specimen carousel built to reveal the mechanism from every angle. It does not chase. It does not strike. It repeats: pulse, tighten, rotate. Pulse, tighten, rotate. The host passes the lower rim again. This should be the end of the cycle. Instead, the parasite begins a second one. the central heart brightens. The rib spokes tighten with greater force. Vapor bursts rise around the wheel in red-white flashes. The rim tissue folds farther over the host, leaving only parts of the body still visible between the black ribs. The host has completed the rotation, but the cost of completing it is that the wheel now knows how to use it. The species rule is fulfilled. A living host has made the full circle around the heart. Now the parasite can become a complete wheel. The host's shape is absorbed into the outer rim segment by segment. No blood spills, no mouth opens. The horror is mechanical only in appearance, but the wheel is not mechanical. Its spokes are soft, its rim is wet. Its movement comes from a heart suspended where empty space should be. The final rotation is slower. The host is no longer climbing, it is no longer being carried. It is part of the edge. The central heart pulses through it, and the newly formed rim segment answers with a delayed beat. The whole wheel flexes. The red carousel lights circle one last time. The pressure shadows rotate around the curved glass wall. Vapor rises from the wet floor. The parasite does not roll away. It rolls without leaving place, upright in the chamber, turning around the exposed heart that made the host into a rim. In the final image, the heart beats alone at the center. Around it, the black rib spokes hold the completed wheel. On the outer rim, the host is still faintly visible, not as a trapped body, not as a passenger, but as the living segment that allowed the parasite to move. The wheel was not carrying the host was becoming the wheel.